Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to talk about chromosome, its structure, types, also about chromatin, euchromatin and heterochromatin, and nucleosomes, and the organization of chromatin. So let's start with chromosome and its definition. So chromosomes are thread-like structure present in nucleus, which carries genetic information from one generation to another. They play vital role in cell division, heredity, variation, mutation, repair, and regeneration. As you can see, this is a chromosome, and it is found within the nucleus of a cell. Within the nucleus of a cell, and they are those things which consist of the genes. These are the chromosomes contains genes within their DNA, and these are the one that carry this genes from one generation to the next. They also help in cell division, heredity, variation, mutation, and repair and regeneration, right? So as you can see, the structure of a chromosome, the short arm is P arm, the Q arm is the longer arm. These are two sister chromatids joined together by a centromer. Alright, and it consists of the DNA double helix, right? So let's go to the next slide. So in eukaryotic cell, genetic material is present in the nucleus in chromosomes, which is made up of highly organized DNA molecules with histone protein supporting its structure. So what's it saying? That in eukaryotic cell, chromosomes are present. Prokaryotes doesn't really have chromosomes. They have free DNA in their cytoplasm, but eukaryotic cell has their DNA which is folded. This is DNA, and as you can see, this is double helix DNA, and it is being folded into a chromosome. It is being folded into a chromosome with the use of histone proteins, right? Forming nucleosomes. So this double helix of DNA is being folded into a compact chromosome-like structure, which looks something like this, which makes the DNA compact and stable and highly organized, right? So chromosome means colored body. That refers to its staining ability by certain dyes. So chromosome literally means a colored body. Now as you can see, in prokaryotes the DNA is not folded into a chromosome, but in eukaryotes this happens. So the number of chromosomes in any species is constant for all the cells. The number of chromosomes in gametes, example sperm egg, is half the somatic cell and known as haploid set of chromosomes, which is a result of meiosis during sexual reproduction. So it's saying that every species of organism have fixed number of chromosomes. Like humans have 23 pairs of somatic 23 pairs of chromosome. One pair, out of which one pair is sexual chromosome, which is either XX or XY in males and females. While another thing that is being said is that in sperms and in eggs, that is in sexual gametes, what is happening, that if every somatic cell is 2n, that consists of diploid chromosomes 2n, the gametes only have n, which means these are haploids. The sperm and eggs are haploid. This is due to meiosis kind of division, and it happens in sexual reproduction. Now chromosome number is preserved in mitotic division of somatic cell, which is required for any organism to grow, repair and regenerate. And every cell in our body has 2n number of chromosomes, that is 23 pairs. Every somatic cell in our body have this diploid number of chromosomes. Now what is karyotyping? Karyotyping is a technique to study the structure of chromosomes present in a species. Chromosomes are isolated, stained and photographed. This technique is useful in finding out many chromosome abnormalities, right? So karyotyping is that technique in which we study the different structure of chromosomes present in our cells or in different organism cell. So here you can see what has been done is that the chromosomes have been isolated from the cell, from its nucleus, then they had been stained, and then they had been photographed. So you can see all the different kind of chromosomes in humans. Okay, so you can see this is a male because it has XY. So this is a male karyotype, and it is important, it is useful in finding out chromosomal abnormalities. For example, if someone has any kind of genetic diseases which somehow is related to chromosomes, for example in Turner's disease, where there is an extra number of chromosomes XY. So if we do the karyotyping, we will find another X chromosome somewhere here. So karyotype is used in finding chromosomal abnormalities. Chromosome structure. Each cell has a pair of each kind of chromosome known as homologous chromosome. Chromosomes are made up of chromatin, which contains a single molecule of DNA and associated proteins. Each chromosome contains hundreds and thousands of genes that can precisely code for several proteins in the cell. Structure of chromosome can be best seen during cell division. So as you can see, what has been said is that each cell has a pair, each kind of chromosome known as homologous chromosome. So each cell has a pair of homologous chromosome. You can see this is one chromosome and its homologous chromosome is right here. These are similar chromosomes containing the alleles of the same gene. For example, if this comes from the father and this comes from the mother, this chromosome. So if father has black eye and mother has blue eyes, so the eye gene will be in both chromosome. Gene will be here. That is, two different alleles of the same gene will be on two different chromosomes. So this is how we know these are the homologous chromosome. They consist of the same two different alleles of the same chromosome. So these are the copies of the same chromosome and known as homologous chromosomes. Now chromosomes are made up of chromatin. What are chromatin? As you can see, chromatin consists of DNA double helix and proteins associated. The histone proteins, some other proteins which are associated with it. That is chromatin. And the chromatin consists of thousands of genes that can precisely code for several proteins in the cell. Right? So you can see here, these two are sister chromatids. Right? After division, this has become sister chromatids joined by a centromer, and these two are homologous chromosomes. Similar. Now chromatid. Each chromosome has two symmetrical structure called chromatids or sister chromatids, which is visible in mitotic metaphase. Each chromatid contains a single DNA molecule. So this chromatid has one DNA molecule and this has another DNA molecule. So before cell division, two sister chromatids, one chromatid is present generally in cell, but at the division, when the cell is needed to be divided, this is replicated and form another sister chromatid along with it, containing another DNA molecule, so that during mitosis these two sister chromatids will be separated. Right? So these two are sister chromatids, this one and this another, and this is one sister chromatid, this is another sister chromatid. These two are two homologous chromosomes. At anaphase, mitotic cell division, sister chromatids are separated and migrated to opposite poles. As you can see, this is anaphase. Structures of chromosome move towards the opposite poles in the cell. So at anaphase, what is happening? For example, if what actually happens that during before cell division, generally in cell there is only one system, only this kind of chromosomes present. Just before cell division, what happens that these divide and form two sister chromatids, right, having two DNA molecules. Now at anaphase, during the cell division, during anaphase, what happens? One chromatid goes to this pole and another chromatid, as you can see, if this is a chromosome one sister chromatid goes this way, another sister chromatid goes this way. You can see one chromatid is coming this way, these are all one sister chromatid are going this way, and the other sister chromatids are going the other way. That is what happens during anaphase. Now centromer and kinetochore. Centromer and kinetochore. Sister chromatids are joined by the centromer. As you can see, these are two sister chromatids. These are joined by structure known as centromer. Spindle fibers during cell division are attached to the centromer, and during cell division, like you saw in this picture, these are the spindle fibers, yellow threads that are joined to the center of the sister chromatids. These are joined to the centromer. These yellow threads are known as the spindle fibers. So spindle fibers during cell division are attached at the centromer. The spindle fibers are attached at these centromers. The number and position of centromer differs in different chromosomes. Now the centromer is called primary constriction. This centromer is a primary constriction. Centromer divides the chromosome in two parts. The shorter arm is known as P arm and the longer arm is known as Q arm. So if we make a clear picture, these two will be P arm and these two will be Q arm. So centromer will divide the P arm and the Q arm, and they will go to two different poles of the cell during cell division anaphase. The centromer contains a dish-shaped kinetochore which has specific DNA sequence with special protein bound to them. So this centromer has a protein called kinetochore. So this is kinetochore proteins to which the spindle fibers attach. The kinetochore provides a center for polymerization of tubulin protein assembly in microtubules. As you can see, centromer and kinetochore in this picture. These are two sister chromatids. The P arm, the shorter arm, and the longer arm is Q arm. And you can see the centromer region is this. The whole region is centromer region, right? And within this centromer region, there is these green things that you can see. The green molecules are the kinetochore. And to these kinetochore proteins, spindle fibers, these yellow thread-like structures has been attached. Now secondary constriction. Primary constriction was a centromer. Now we are going to talk about the secondary constriction. So secondary constriction and nuclear organizers. Other than centromer, chromosome possesses secondary constriction as well. Secondary constriction, which contain genes to form nucleoli, are known as nucleolar organizer. So those secondary constriction which contains genes to form nucleoli, within the nucleus there is a special region called nucleoli or nucleolus. So at that region, those genes which contains the nucleolar organizer genes are known as nuclear organizers. Now what are the secondary constrictions? First is telomere. Terminal part of the chromosome is known as telomere. So as you can see, these are the telomeres, the terminal part, the end part of the chromosome is the telomere. It is the secondary constriction. The telomeres are polar, which prevents the fusion of chromosomal segments. So these are polar structures, so that if there is another chromosome beside this, these two can't fuse, because these telomeres and these telomeres are polar, right? Then there is satellite. It is an elongated segment that is sometimes present on a chromosome at the secondary constriction. The chromosome with satellite are known as SAT chromosome. So you can see these are the satellite structures. Also secondary constriction, they consist of special genes that help in nucleolar organization and other things. And so those chromosomes that have these secondary construction of satellites are known as SAT chromosome. SAT chromosome. So this is a SAT chromosome. Chromatin. Now what is chromatin? Chromosome is made up of chromatin. You already know chromosome made up of chromatin, which is made up of, the chromatin is made up of DNA, RNA and proteins. At interphase, chromosomes are visible as thin chromatin fibers present in the nucleoplasm. So in interphase, if you have done the practical, in interphase what you can see is, if this is a cell, this is its nucleus, thin thread like structures are present in the nucleus. These are the chromatin. During cell division or during mitosis mainly, the chromatin fibers condense and chromosomes are visible with distinct features. Especially at metaphase, you can start seeing structure like this. They are no longer in thread like structure. They had now become compacted, condensed chromosomal structures. The darkly stained condensed region of chromatin is known as heterochromatin. Now see here. This is a chromosome structure, and these parts which are darkly stained are heterochromatin. Heterochromatin are more condensed, silenced genes. They are not active. Heterochromatin are darkly stained and not active. That is, the genes present in these areas are not active, high AT content and stains darker. While these lightly stained areas, the light blue structures are euchromatin. They are less condensed. They express genes, that is, they are active. They have active genes. They are rich in GC content, that is guanosine and cytosine content, and stains lighter. So the light stained diffused region of chromatin is known as euchromatin. So these light stained areas are the euchromatins, and they are active and loosely packed DNA. As you can see, if another structure of euchromatin and heterochromatin is seen, that means that these are the histone proteins and these are the DNA. So if we see, the euchromatin region is loosely packed. Like I already said, euchromatin is loosely packed, and euchromatin is loosely packed and thus is active. The genes in the euchromatin are active genes. On the other hand, if we talk about heterochromatin, you can see they are compact and they are not active genes. So that's about euchromatin, heterochromatin. Now structural organization of chromatin. Chromatin consists of DNA and associated proteins. DNA is packaged in highly organized manner in chromosomes. Nucleosomes are the basic units of chromatin. It is 10 nanometer in diameter. So now we have to study how chromatin, how a long DNA is quite around 1 meter long, right? So in every cell, how a 1 meter long, which is itself somehow, the cell itself is somehow 100 nanometer in size, a cell which is itself 100 nanometer in size. How can it store a chromatin which is 1 meter long? How can a DNA that is 1 meter long could be stored within a cell which is itself 100 nanometers, so small? So that is why we need to organize the chromatin in such a tightly packed manner so that it could be put into the nucleus, right? It couldn't fit into the nucleus. So nucleosomes are formed. How? Nucleosomes are actually consist of histone proteins, histone octamers or histone proteins plus DNA. These are nucleosomes. So you can see H2A, H2B, H3, H4. These are all octamers, histone octamers, and around it DNA double helix is wrapped around it. As you can see, like if this is histone octamer, the DNA is sorry. If this is a histone protein, the DNA is wrapped around it like this. Something like this, right? So these are the nucleosomes. Nucleosomes are the structural organization of chromatin, where the chromatin or the DNA molecule is wrapped around histone molecules or histone octamers to form beads. The thread on bead structure, right? Something like this is formed. So they are compacted. Now DNA packing is facilitated by proteins called histones. You can see DNA packing is facilitated by proteins called histones. DNA is wound around the histone protein to form nucleosome. We already saw that. This is the histone proteins and these are the DNA. These DNA are wrapped around the histone protein to form nucleosomes. Now there are 5 types of histone protein in the eukaryotic chromosome, namely H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. These are the 5 types of histone proteins known and they form the histone octamer. Histones are positively charged due to the presence of amino acids with basic side chains and is associated with negatively charged DNA due to presence of phosphate group. So it's saying that as you saw this structure, there is the histone protein is positively charged and this DNA molecule is negatively charged, and you know that opposites attract. So the positively charged histone protein the negatively charged DNA molecules is wrapped around this positively charged histone proteins, right? The next point is nucleosomes are made up of 146 base pair of DNA base pair coiled around the core of 8 histone molecules, and nucleosomes prevent DNA from getting tangled. So as you can see in this picture as well, there is these histone octamer with H1, H2, H2A, H2B and 146 DNA base pairs. 146 base pairs of DNA is present within this nucleosome, and a little bit of DNA is present within the as linker DNA between two nucleosomes, right? And these nucleosomes are present so that, like, if DNA is present in open without no proteins to organize it, it could get tangled within the cell and also break. So that is the main function of nucleosomes. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.